You want a simple, effective way to build a stronger core without a single piece of fancy equipment? Then you've come to the right place. A strong core isn't just about looking fit, it's the foundation of almost everything you do. It's what helps you carry the groceries, stay steady on uneven ground, and even get on the floor to play with your grandkids. If you don't know who I am, my name is Marius Visser, I'm a biokineticist, and in this video, I'm going to guide you through 5 of the best bodyweight core exercises out there, all designed for active individuals over the age of 60. But before we start, the golden rule is to always listen to your body, move at your own pace, and never ever push through sharp pain. Okay, so let's kick off with our first exercise. This circuit combines a time-based isometric principle as well as dynamic stability, which is completely modifiable. I will show you the modified versions of every exercise, or at least the ones I feel is going to be a little bit more challenging for you. But let's kick it off with our first one, and that is the back bridge. So what we do is we lie on our backs, and in this position, I want you to feel and see whether you can get your heels to touch your fingers. That is a great position to start off with. It means that your quads are almost on a very stretched position, which is going to allow you to push through and even get more stretch through these quads. But most importantly, the glutes are the ones that's going to drive this movement, and the core is going to stabilize the movement. So from here, once we've got our position right, I want you to think about pressing your shoulder blades down and back into the ground and not your head. Your head remains very soft and relaxed. You're just going to be pushing your shoulder blades down and back. As you breathe out, you're going to lift, keeping the belly button nice and tight without any movement in the spine, pushing through the heels and lift up as high as you can until you are completely straight, where your knees, your hips, and your shoulders are in a straight line and down. Touch briefly, do not rest, and go. That is 2 and 3. And we're going to go for 15. 4. Breathe in and out. 5. I can feel this working. Core muscles are working. 6. Glute muscles are working. 7. 8. Thigh muscles are stretching. 9. Hamstrings are working a little bit, but not the key driver. 10. Last 5. 1. 2. Try and keep the pace the same. 2 seconds up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 2 more. And 1 more. And let's do an extra one. And relax and rest. That was our first set. Now, before we move on to our second one, because this is a circuit, we need to move from the one exercise to the next. I will show you a modification of this one if you feel that this one is too easy, and we're going to do a single leg. So for that, we bring our feet a little bit closer together. Everything still stays the same. You're still going to be pressing down to your shoulder blades down and back into the mat. Keep the head nice and soft on the floor, making sure that your core is engaged, and we're going to bring one leg up and push through and slowly down. Tempo remains the same. Everything else remains the same. I want you to maintain hip alignment here. Do not let this hip drop. You want to keep it up as level as you can. 3. Let's go for 5, 4, and 1 more. And 5. And let's change and pick it up. This one you can also do 5 or 10 or 15, depending on how you feel. Let's go for 1 more, and 5, and relax. I can feel the shoulder on the opposite side of the leg working a bit harder to try and keep that anti-rotation in the pelvis stable. So next exercise in our circuit is called the bird dog. Now we'll show you a modification for this exercise if you cannot stand on your knees or you have a problem with your wrists. Let's get into it. So first off, we've got to make sure that our shoulders and wrists and hips and knees are in line with each other. Also, hips are shoulder width or knees are shoulder width apart, and the arms are shoulder width apart as well. So from there, we're going to lift the opposite hand, opposite leg, and maintain the stability. And also the anti-rotation, we don't want to rotate any part of our body. So we're going to lift. At the same time, opposite hand, we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back, keep the control in the midsection. And when we change, we're not allowed to shift. All right, so whenever we move or lift our one hand or one leg, we're not allowed to shift the weight or the balance point across any hand or leg. Keep everything center. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Back and repeat. And breathe out as you lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back and change. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything nice and level. One more. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Now you would do 5 times 5 seconds on each side. If you find it hard to balance off your knees because you don't have the mobility, or maybe you've had a knee replacement or you have a wrist problem, you can use a stability ball just to take a little bit of the body weight off the knees and the wrists. So what we'll do is we'll just lift our knees just enough off the floor, but keep our toes pointed into the floor. And then our hands are going to be placed on the mat, and you'll feel immediately that there's a lot less body weight going through your arms and your hips. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to still pick up the 1, straighten out, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back. Still keep the belly button tight. The ball does make it a little bit easier, but I don't want you to relax all those core muscles, because after all, this is going to be a core exercise, and still try to keep your arm and your leg as straight as you can. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. You will notice that my knees are still bent, but they're not touching the ground. Maybe if you feel you can manage to just maybe let them rest on the floor, but very, very lightly. If you can tolerate that, you can do it this way, or just roll yourself a little bit forward on the ball and make sure that the knees are just off the floor. I'm still tucking my feet in, still pushing myself away from the floor. You can also use your fists like that if you feel it is going to be a bit harder with your hands. But try to learn how to bear a little bit of weight on those wrists. It is going to be good in the overall exercise over time, that your wrists will start to strengthen. And relax. And that was our modified bird dog version. Moving on to our next exercise, also another tough one, is called the hip side bridge plus abduction. So we're going to get onto our soft mat again. This is a 10mm mat. I will leave a link in the description with everything that I'm using today, so that you can find yourself this as well. So the first one is going to be, or the first modification is going to be on the shoulder, on the hip, and then I'm going to straighten my legs out a little bit with my legs at a 90-degree angle, and from here I'm just going to lift up my body off the floor. And this position I can just hold. It's almost like just doing a static side plank, but the idea for today's exercise, I want to add a little bit more difficulty and a little bit more dynamic component to your core stabilizers, and that is to actually lift and open up the hips, both of them. I'm actually lifting the bottom hip up further off the floor and the top one at the same time. And we're only going to do about 5 to 10 on each side. And one more. Breathe out. 5. Now to make it a bit harder, you can straighten the leg out and do it this way. Keeping a nice tall spine, looking straight ahead. I don't want you to look down at your feet. Keep the chest open, nice neutral spine, keep the belly button tucked in, making sure that the bottom hip does its work while the core is maintaining the stability. And let's change to the other side. Same thing. I'm getting on my knees on top of each other, but almost in a straight line, while maintaining my shoulder over my elbow, and then lifting myself up with my chest up, nice tall spine as if somebody is stretching me out. And then from there, you'll notice my bottom hip lifts up and comes back down. Not all the way, it doesn't touch, it doesn't rest. I want you to stay there and open. 1, breathe in and out. 2, 3, this is a hard one. Just a warning. 4 and 5. And again, with a straight leg, you're gonna feel a much better, not better, but more burn and stress on the hips and the core. And relax. Now I'm going to show you the modification. We get our ball and we place our ball on the edge of the mat, getting into the same position, except now my arm, I'm leaning my entire upper body over the ball. Still lining up my knees on top of each other. Nice tall spine, chest up. And what I do then is I try to engage my core muscles. I can feel this bottom hip is already working. I'm not even doing anything. Just the fact that I'm lying on the ball does not take away everything. It just makes it a little bit easier that I don't have to lean on my wrist or my elbow if you've got a shoulder problem. So from there, open and close. I've even got my hand on the floor for a little bit of extra stability, but I can just put it on the ball. Makes it a bit harder. 4, 1 more, 5. And then you can still straighten the leg and do it this way. Okay, and relax. And there you have the modification for the side bridge plus abduction for your oblique muscles. So for our fourth exercise in the circuit, we're going to do a plank, but with our arms straight. So we're going to first do the full version. We get into our hands and knees position, feet shoulder width apart, hands and wrists shoulder width apart. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we pull our belly button in, and we're going to pull our hips back, almost like we tucking in our pelvis. And then from there, we're going to go into a static plank, and we're going to hold this position. Okay, now from there, we can raise our hands just off the floor. Okay, you don't have to go all the way out. Just raise them up off the floor just enough for a few seconds. Let's go for 2 more. And 10, and relax. Sure, that is a tough one. So get into a push-up position with your arms straight, tilt the pelvis back, engage the core, hold that position, and then try to lift off one hand off without shifting too much. There is a slight shift from left to right, but the more you do this, you'll start seeing that you will narrow your base and you will not shift as much as you can. Let's show you the modified version. Getting into our same position, legs at the back straight, pick up the chest, arms are straight and locked out. My feet are still touching the floor, and then all I'm going to do is pull my belly button in, make sure I'm pushing my pelvis into the ball. You see that? Push in, hold. It's almost like I'm squeezing my glutes at the same time as I'm pulling my belly button in, and then we can pick up our hands. Keeping that tension around the midsection, and we just raise the arms up while pushing the weight into the ground. I can feel my belly button and the muscles around the belly button burning as I'm doing this. So I'm keeping that core tight. 8 and 2 more, 9 and 10, and relax. So this is actually a great alternative for you who are still struggling with holding a push-up position, but there is one more modification that we can do without the ball if you don't have a ball, and that is by keeping your knees on the ground. So we just keep our knees like that. I'd like to widen the base as well, but you still pull the belly button in so that you can do that. And this is the half plank off the knees. Another modification which makes it a little bit easier for those who either don't have a ball or cannot do the full plank. So for our last exercise, it is called an overhead squat, and for this we are going to need a wall. So let me explain. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to bring in all the core stabilizers of the spine, hips, legs, shoulders, and bring them all together. So we are going to move 1 foot away from the wall. There we go. And then we're going to place our hands on the wall straight above. I don't want you to bring them out to the side. You must try to keep them in a straight line. I also don't want you to bend your elbows at any stage. So from there, and then we're going to go into a squat as if there's a chair behind you, but you don't have to go down too far. This is only a quarter squat. So you're only going to go down maybe 15 or 20 degrees. Stop there, keeping the chest up, look at the wall, and come back up again. As you move down, push your hips back, breathe in and out. So I can feel all the core stabilizer muscles in the front and everything down the back of my spine. Lighting up, hold it there, straight arms, push up. And let's go 2 more, breathe in and out. And last one.
and out. And relax. If you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps grow my small channel. And share this video with somebody that you feel might benefit from it. And also leave a comment down below and tell me which one of these exercises are your favorite. See you next time.